Well, I wasn't going to make a video talking about this topic, but I think it's time to talk about the topic, especially how the politics have come about it on the vaccine versus not vaccinating and whatnot. And while intersect politics, it's not going to be a political post. After my dealings with 2016 and the stuff that happened in the 2016 primary in Missouri and the consequences I dealt with trying to call out the election fraud, for lack of a better term. I don't want to go down that road again. But some of the stuff that's been going on, it's like around it's almost like a vaccine hegemony, is concerning to me. And I'm going to put it in the context of something I've been going through and this happened after I had a bike accident in 2019 in Portland. Slid across North Williams near Dawson Park, I believe is the name of the park, but don't quote me on it because I'm not looking it up right now. And when I slid across the pavement, I was hurt, but I was able to still get up, ride home. But whatever I got into my skin from sliding 40 feet across Williams, and I'm shocked I wasn't bleeding profusely from that. It was just scrapes, but it was just enough. It ripped into my clothes. I had bike pants on. It got in there, and it was a neurotoxin, for lack of a better term. And all the way up through the rest of the time I worked for the city of Portland, I was dealing with that. And and it's funny to me how now with the whole COVID outbreak, that now everyone's concerned about people like my immune system and how it's important. But have they really asked the people who have issues with their immune system what their thoughts are? Because in 2019, I wish I could have socially distanced, because every time I got around people, if someone had a cough or a sneeze, I got sick. I got really sick. I missed a lot of work and almost lost my job because of it, and couldn't get a diagnosis of what was going on, except that it was deemed after a bunch of tests, and it's a fight trying just to get blood out of me for blood work, that I essentially had no immune system for lungs and sinuses, and all the way up to COVID. And it was getting to a breaking point. And then one coworker came in. It sounded like death, and who knows, that may have actually been COVID and not the flu, back January of 2020. And it's like, and then I got sick. Not to that level, but mine lasted longer, whatever it was. And it's like, and I had to start doing my own, looking at biological systems engineer, Dr. Shiva Ayudare, with things on the immune system. And some of that stuff was actually more helpful than anything a doctor could have done. And my naturopath was on the right path. But the reason I say this is now everyone's going to say, oh, social distance, oh, wear a mask. Or some of the people, let's wear 2 masks, even though we got the vaccine. But the main reason I wanted to bring this up is it really a good thing to force everyone to vaccinate? What about those who, let's go first with the limited supply logic here. If you have a limited supply of something, is it the best use of resources just to give it willy-nilly? Or is it better to go ahead, since we do have the test to see who has the protein antibodies for COVID, which variant, blah, blah, blah. If they have the variant, they can wait for a shot if they still want a shot. The people who don't have it or don't have any of the antibodies should be the first ones to get a shot. That would be logical, right? And then what about those who have really bad reaction to vaccines? And you've got now employers and private colleges so far, but it's probably going to be public here soon in some states and some universities. Is it good to force someone and not allow a disability accommodation? Because if you have an allergic reaction to a vaccine, in a sense, it's a disability. The problem is that there's no case law pertaining to that. So those people would have a big uphill battle, and you have to have money, tens to $100,000, to be able to get this case through, and then the university or the institution or the company will challenge it as far as they go because they have the money to burn. So you've got something for the people who worry about class. This isn't good for class. For the people who worry about racial equity, guess what? This is also not good for racial equity. And so my caution would be to everyone, those who can get the vaccine and it's your turn, do it if you feel so, but don't force people to do it. And it's like, if we were going to go down that road, our only fighting chance to really quash COVID from getting variants would have been a very harsh 16 to 24 week shutdown, including grocery stores, or have it where by your last name or by the last number of your address, you got this time frame to go to the grocery store each week. Would have been the only way to reasonably have done so and pay people to stay home, which of course we wouldn't do in this country. And most countries didn't. There were some that did, and some had more successes than others. But yeah, the thing that has me concerned is we're getting to the point where pressuring people who can't get the vaccine or have allergies, and I've seen it locally, shaming people who are saying they aren't going to get a vaccine. I had that in an interview, which arguably that place, if I had the money, I could sue them because the question they asked violates the Americans with Disability Act. But it would take a challenge because there's no case law when it comes to vaccines. And it's like, and I've had issues with two. One nearly killed me, and I was told never to get one again. And then add to that egg allergies, especially egg white. And it's an autoimmune reaction, but if it's injected, they don't know how bad it's going to be. Eating it, it's like I can be set off if there's a trace of egg in batter to kind of give the severity of it. And so that's a really big concern in itself, because so then it goes to question, should those people who have an immune function that could kill them getting the vaccine, is it worth their sacrifice to make your psychology be comfortable, that you feel safe, because everyone's being forced to do it? And it's like, and do we really want to live in a world where everyone's forced to do and say the same thing? Or should we rely on people are going to make the best decisions they can for them and their family? And I'm trying to go beyond the partisan talking points of this and really going more into an ethics philosophy frame of reference for the question. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to address. It's like, we are about to create a discriminatory environment. It's like, oh, if you can't get the vaccine for whatever reason, now you can't fly, you can't travel. It's like, and soon won't be able to work. It's like, are you going to make me homeless? And just because I'm not going to sacrifice my life for your comfort. It's like, I'm like, they've taken it so far. They have gone so far in this whole, argument. Like, we got to care about the people with the most fragile immune systems or autoimmune issues, but then the ones who can't get the vaccine, oh, too bad, so sad. It's like, we got to protect everyone else. And then the final question that I want to pose is like, at what line is there where it is the collective responsibility for one's health and versus the individual who has the immune issues taking responsibility, knowing what they can and can't do? I mean, I took some advantages because I've had this weird autoimmune function where it's like I get sick where I'm around a lot of people since the bike accident. It really brought it out tenfold. And it's like during COVID, there were times because of how few people were allowed in, I went to places I was able to go. Haven't been able to go to in 2 years because the risk was lower than it was before COVID went out, because I've had to think about those things for years. Me going out, is this going to put me in the hospital? Is this going to kill me? And it's funny now that's the in vogue thing, and people collectively are in a great amount of fear. When I've had a hyperimmune system my whole life, and I've not allowed myself to go completely there. Well, you can't do anything. It's like, you just got to shut yourself in because, well, I can't afford to. I have to work. And even in COVID, when all that stuff, I had to still be in the public sphere. And it's like, and where I worked fudge the numbers to make it look like I wasn't exposed to COVID. And luckily, I was doing a bunch of stuff to deal with my immune function for lung and sciences and did the masking and all that stuff because it probably saved me. But yeah, 11 of 13 people that were back on my floor got COVID, and 3 were hospitalized. And these were people I worked with closely, and then they try to say, "Oh no, you weren't around them long enough." I'm like, I don't believe it. For what? It's like, yeah. So there's just so many things, and it's like, and just be mindful of double standards and hypocrisy. And it's probably better to have the assumption that people are going to do the best decision for themselves and their family. And if we collectively focused on that, we probably are going to be okay. But yeah, I just want to just go for all the filters. Like, this is not a, anti-vaccination or conspiracy. I don't really have any play, but I really wanted just to hone in on some of these ethical questions as it pertains to how this is going to impact my life. For instance, that as these rules and laws are going to come down the pipe, I'm maybe up shit creek without a paddle. Pardon my French, but I can say a swear word or two because I'm not monetizing my page. But that was just something, a rambling and thought that I really wanted to get out there because it's like I'm not hearing it. And I think the perspective will bring something to whatever conversation unfolds in the big sphere, or it might not. I don't know how many people are even going to see this video. So, but yeah, I'll stop it there because I really wanted just to get that thought out into the universe. Thanks.